Welcome back, 45 News Utah, Western States Media. This is take number 7, I think. We're going to break down a lot of the posts I'm seeing on Facebook and other places with people saying they're complaining about help wanted signs and they can't get people to go back to work. Why 9.2 million Americans are out of work and will not be returning back to the workforce anytime soon. Now let's break that down. The reason why they won't be returning back in any time, in any reasonable period of time is because of the money dump the federal government is doing to subsidize this entire population, to spread the money through the economy, through unemployment benefits, and through state unemployments, with workers that would have been going back to work making probably a lot less than what they're making on unemployment. And the Fed's taking your tax dollars to just be spread throughout the economy. Now, you got to remember, those of us at the bottom, I'm there too. Okay? Just so you guys all know I'm there too. We're the backbone of this country. The service industry people, the delivery people, the people that are out there keeping everything moving, that are working the factories, that are not sitting in an office somewhere told to hide because of COVID theft that went on, the largest theft in U.S. history of debt dollars and the economy that was completely stopped for a year, nearly completely stopped for a year. This group of workers, this is the next tier below that, and that's 9.2 million Americans that are not working. They're not taking place in this, any kind of part in this workforce. And the reason why is because they need to put this money that they signed into law, that they stole, into a certain population to spur the economy. Now, if they go back to work for these $9 an hour jobs that shouldn't exist anyways, because that's a stepping stone for a 17-year-old kid. This is not 17-year-old kids. This is not kids out of high school or in high school that need to make extra money. This has absolutely nothing to do with that. These are 9.2 million Americans that need real jobs. A living wage, unsubsidized by the taxpayer. That's not 9, 10, 11, or $12 an hour jobs. Now, if you say they should have got a better education, you haven't been looking at the inflation. The inflation's through the roof. Now, the guys in the middle, now let's just remember that all the small businesses are suffering. They are going to be hit with higher taxes. But the kleptocrats in Washington and the global fiat currency sucker-uppers don't care about small businesses. They don't care about the people that are employing 4 other people trying to make a living and trying to enjoy the American dream. And capitalism is now dead. Dead. Went out the day when they signed out the first $1 trillion, not to mention the $32 trillion in debt we have, plus the $19 trillion in debt that they stole since the beginning of the COVID outbreak. They don't really care what happens to small businesses. It's nothing to do with that. So small businesses are just one leg up on the totem pole. And they don't really care what happens to those people because they say it's small business is the backbone of this country. No, the debt dollar, the $19 trillion is the backbone of this country. They don't care. This group down in the bottom down here is 9 million people. As long as that money, the fake fiat currency, gets into their hands first, and then they spread it through every direction they can, while they're still subsidized, not paying mortgages or rent. So that takes that 9.2 million Americans and the money they're receiving on top of every other subsidy, on top of everything else, on top of not paying the rent moratorium, mortgage moratorium. And you got a lot more money than what everybody's being told. That's just being spread out into a loop that goes right back to them. It doesn't have nothing to do with helping and saving Americans. It's about the money coming from our debt to them and to everybody else, and then just right back to them. That's all it's about. We're blaming the 9.2 million Americans that have been completely eliminated from the job market, that have the option to go back to work for a service industry that's still paying $9 an hour, $10 an hour, $12 an hour, $15 an hour, when the price of everything due to inflation has gone through the roof, and those are no longer livable wages without being heavily subsidized again by the taxpayer. So how do we get out of that? I'll tell you how we get out of that. The kleptocratic theft that's going on at the top. This massive record-breaking profits by CEOs, corporations, global hedge funds, investors, real estate moguls, real estate flippers. Everything else is going in this top insanity. The largest theft in the world's history. These are global, by the way. These are not just, this isn't Bill that lives next door that's got investment in, Citibank or whatever he's invested in. This is global kleptocracy. These are massive investors that are making more money than they ever have in the history of the world. Stock markets didn't go down. Stock markets are just roaring with $19 trillion of fake fiat theft money going out. So the only way we're going to save this economy that already flatlined for an entire year, that's been pumped up by fake fiat currency with $450,000 houses, it's a basic home and $1,300 a month rent to the landlords, they're just sucking everything up. It's just, no matter what you do, they're just sucking it all up. It's a chain. The top massive theft kleptocrats need to drop their profits. They need to stop raking in record-breaking profits. We have to rein in the markets. Now, this is a very dangerous proposition. These are very drunk, very dangerous people. They can crash economies in a day. They take billions of dollars out of one. They just scuttle a company. They'll scuttle massive banks, massive everything, whatever they got their money in. And they can scuttle the economy if they don't get what they want. And that's theft tax dollars in debt that they steal from the taxpayers through bailouts to save. And let's say, this is the American Rescue Plan. You either give them the money or they crash the entire country or Venezuela by tomorrow. America's in a very tight noose right now with a fake country running off fake money with an economy that is not in any way stable. And if we fail at this fake economy and everybody just buying everything and money going everywhere that doesn't exist, this is all fake money. This is backed by nothing. It was just printed off $19 trillion that we will eventually pay for. The only way we're going to save that is these people at the top. Because as of now, we're facing a huge, massive inflationary period never seen before. This is going to be the worst thing that ever hit America. Inflation through the roof. And the only way these guys can pull this off is this 9.2 million Americans keep sucking in the money, the fake fiat dollars that they put towards them to keep them spreading out through the economy, that money. And we bring up millions of people, and we bring in hundreds of thousands and thousands of people that the Fed can just dump all this fake fiat currency on to resettle it, get them going so they can produce children and they can increase the U.S. population to spread the debt. They need the machine needs people. We stopped making people. We stopped having children. We're flatlining our entire population. They cannot have that happen because they've already spent the money. They need more people. So don't ever take it out of these 9.2 million Americans. They are serving a purpose because they have to enter back into this lower section that's a living wage, or lower than that, that's a subsidized wage by the taxpayer anyway. It's all about the money dump. And then bringing people in as fast as they can so they can dump exorbitant amount of money to resettle these people, to get no fault of their own. They're leaving these countries that are oppressed by the capitalistic kleptocrats that have sucked other countries dry, blockaded their ports, and caused all kinds of havoc in their own countries, or drug wars to feed the machine the drugs. So, that's what's happening. All that drug war in South Central America has created massive turmoil in these other countries. People are fleeing what the beast of America has done. And remember, America isn't America anymore. It's America Incorporated. This whole thing's a corporation. But we can't blame the 9.2 million Americans out of work. You just can't. They can't go fill jobs that don't pay high enough incomes to get them off the massive subsidized, workforce level, because they have to have children or they have to have something to get subsidized. And a lot of these people cannot qualify for massive subsidies if they're just single working people. They've been completely priced out of a market, completely priced out of a job market, completely priced out of a housing market, completely priced out of everything. Just basic living expenses of people that don't have children, which we've been promoting for the past 10 years. Globally, don't have kids, you're killing the world. You got to. There's too many people in the world, too many people. We did that. I have no idea what's going on in the other room. So anyway, just so you guys know, try not to blame these people. It is not their fault. This is what a massive theft of the future of America into these kleptocratic, drunken extortionists at the top are doing. And they have the ability to turn this entire country to mush tomorrow. They can crash the economy tomorrow. They want these people doing this. And they want mass amounts of people coming up from the border. They want a mass amount of people they can dump money on to spur that economy to go right back into them. And it's all fake fiat. It's all fake fiat currencies. Just remember that. Until we fix this, and until we fix this at the bottom, and we make it affordable to go work if you're not a 17-year-old kid just trying to make some extra money and make a big enough income, a good enough income that they can experience the American dream, because there's too much between the service industry in most cases and to where you're sustainable, self-sufficient. You're talking about a huge jump. And everybody says go get an education. Go get an education. We need these people. They are the glue. This is where the home and the two-car garage, the family worked and made a living and everybody had a great life. That's the backbone of America. You don't need educated people to keep the country together. You need educated people to run the rest of it. But we need this. This is the knuckle draggers. The knuckle draggers make the world go around. And if you lose the knuckle draggers like me, you're in a lot of trouble. Sitting in a high-rise building or finally going back to work out of your, running from COVID, that won't matter a bit because these people won't be servicing you. We all work as a system. It's a system that has worked for over 100 years. Ups and downs. But never think for a minute that you don't need these people to do what they're doing, and the rest of us that are actually providing the goods and services and making the products. Because without us, the government couldn't steal $19 trillion and say, hey, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. It's not going to be fine. It's not going to get better. You have to make sure that this group of people that's sitting on 9.2 million people that's doing nothing re-enter the workforce right. And they don't have the rug pulled out from underneath them. Because you want to see an economic crash. You pull the rug out of this fake fiat currency that these global investors are making anyway. They're going to take it all back. It's all going to be theirs. All profits, just sheer profits. You pull the rug out from underneath these people, without re-educating them to get back into the workforce and giving them a livable wage that we don't have to subsidize, and you're really going to see this country fall. You'll really see an actual collapse that'll make the Great Depression look like a child's game. Anyway, this is 45 News Utah, West States Media. Thanks for watching. I got to get going, hunting antlers and all that's already noon. You guys have a great day. Hopefully this video makes it to YouTube, and I'll talk to you later.